Next tonight, people in York are being urged to act now as severe flood alerts are issued across the city and surrounding areas.
There are currently 20 warnings in place for North Yorkshire, particularly for properties along the River Ouse.
Residents say it's becoming more and more common and that they're always anxious that flooding is imminent. Chris Jepson reports.
It's a welly day in the village of Neyburn, just outside York. Flooded again, residents here reflect on what's becoming a regular occurrence.
First time it happened was 2000, and they said it was a 1 in 200 year flood, and it's happened about 5 times since then. So you're always anxious because you're watching the level and you're thinking, our house is flood resilient, but it's only flood resilient, provided we do certain things at certain times to make it flood resilient. So you're looking constantly and saying, is now the time to do that? Is now the time to do this? We're relieved that it's not been as deep as it has been, but it's been a long time. It's been 5 days or so where this road's been impassable, which is inconvenient, to say the least.
In the city centre, the pumps are out again. Cars abandoned, and the ooze swallowing up even the most sturdy of structures. The flooding in the city centre this time round hasn't been that bad, but it's the regularity with which these flooding events are happening in this city that's really getting residents concerned.
Well, when I first moved here, I didn't know anything about the flooding, but now you're made aware of it all the time, and I thought they were supposed to be stopping it.
Thursday, they put the bridge out, so I thought, oh, here we go, it's going to come up again, so
Just becoming part of life?
Just part of life, that's all. So
that's the main worry of not being able to get out and being trapped. And I'm thinking that whether it's going to harm the buildings, whether the insurance is going to go up.
So we're here at the Foss barrier in York, which protects 1,300 properties within the city. Back on Tuesday, we had 7 of the 8 pumps running, and they were running at half capacity, so we were taking 25 tonnes a second.
And without that, it could have been much worse this week.
Without that, you would have seen the ooze flood up into the Foss, and that would have affected properties right the way through the city centre.
Reminders everywhere you look. No wonder the authorities here are monitoring the 6 flood warnings still in place after a wet Christmas break.
The Foss barrier has pumped the second most water it has since the floods of 2015. So it's been a good test for the infrastructure here, which has held out really well.
What would you say to residents we've spoken to today who say they're concerned about the regularity of these flood events?
We've invested huge sums of money across York since 2015. Not just in the upgrade of the Foss barrier here, but across new flood defence schemes throughout the city. But it's what's been done upstream as well to slow the flow.
An historic city that is used to flooding, but increasingly has to defend itself against the threat of climate change. Chris Jepson, ITV News, York.